206, you got it? Everybody? All right. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 206. And today, we've got an incredibly special guest. All right, so the gentleman you're about to meet, Mr. Charlie Kramer, is my wrestling coach. And it's interesting, but sometimes you don't realize that there's somebody that comes into your life at a point in which you need it the most. And it's not until later that you realize, and when you think back and you look back at your life and sort of the people in your life that have had the most dramatic impact on really the trajectory and the formation of you and who you are as an individual. And in my life, there have been three men: my father, my grandfather, who's deceased, and then Charlie Kramer. And I get choked up every time I talk about this, so I apologize. But I want to tell him the story that anyway, he came into my life at a very pivotal point. I was had an abusive stepfather, and I just needed somebody to sort of take me by the shoulders or the little pointy ears and shake me and get me pointed in the right direction. And years later, I didn't realize at the time, but this was one of the most important and impactful relationships or coincidental meetings of my life. And you know, I thought about this. In my 20s, I was dealing with a bunch of things, but once I sort of hit my 30s and started dealing with some of the issues that I had and the demons that I was facing, I started really reflecting on the people in my life that really did have that impact and helped me, you know, in my journey throughout the process. And so I had the opportunity. I thought, you know what? I hadn't talked to Coach Kramer. I graduated when I was 18. I left home and I didn't go back. And so it wasn't until, I guess it was about, I was over 30. So probably about 15 years later, I knew that I was going to have the opportunity to see Coach at a wedding. And it was the first time I had seen him since I'd been 18. And so I'm like, all right, this is my opportunity. I don't want to miss the opportunity to let this guy know the impact that he had on me, my life, and the formation of my confidence, and just really me as an individual. Because I think there are opportunities. People come, like I said, into your life that are positive, but you also have the negatives. And he intersected a very dark negative and was almost like a Superman, where he like defended that and helped me sort of channel the negativity into positivity and just grow as an individual. And so I had the opportunity to see him, and I said, Coach, I saw him at the wedding. I said, I got to tell you this, and told him what he meant to me and how he changed my life. And for the next 30 minutes, we both continued to cry, and everybody was like, what's wrong with them? We're at this wedding, and we're just sitting there crying in the corner. But really, it was an amazing opportunity, and I just wanted to share him. He came down to my conference, Men Influential Conference. I want to share his message with everybody because I really feel like it's a valuable one. The other thing that I wanted him to see and the reason I asked him to come down to the conference is just to see the collateral beauty that happens when you help that one person unselfishly, not having any expectations other than just to help somebody. You never realize how that can impact the world and in such a large and meaningful way. And so it's not just me, and that's the thing. I'm just one person. I'm not special. He's done this for thousands and thousands and thousands of people, young people, you know, throughout the past 40 years. And it's just a testament to, you know, the human spirit and just, you know, help people. That's what this world is about. So without any further ado, I give you Charlie Kramer. How was that?
Morning, everybody. Just a couple things quickly. Kelly, thanks for the opportunity. I'm very flattered for the invite. I do have a message. I do believe in what Aaron says. And when I look at you guys, I look at the potential. And as I was thinking, as everybody was talking, I'm thinking, what am I telling you about success for? You're already there. You already know. But anyway, my speech talks about attributes. It talks about philosophies. It talks about what's really important in life. So anyway, what I want you to do in this think tank, and I'm so impressed by the things that I've seen go on with you guys. What I want you to do is I want you to think back, pick in your memory and say to yourself, what is success? I mean, really, what is it? It's, people try to define it over and over. And the definition really falls back to whoever's trying to define it. So success takes on many different appearances, many different philosophies. Now I know you guys at your age and the experience that you have, you already know about this, but it's just something to, sometimes you need to, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's worth looking into. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to think about success. Because I think success is different for everybody. And when I look at success at my age, what's important to me is not important to you. Sometimes what's important to me is I got up today. I'm excited. When I was working, it was having an impact. So for you guys, it all changes depending on specifically who you are. Teams that I've coached, when I think of some of the teams I've coached, sometimes winning and success was an expectation. You are to win, that's your job, that's what you're gonna do. And we did it. And I've coached other sports and other programs where, and I'll give you a classic example. I took over a soccer program that for 20 games the year before, now this isn't gonna be rocket science, they gave up over 100 goals. So soccer, 1-0, 2-0. If you're not a soccer person, 3-0, you got thumped. 3-0. They took it to you. We lost by an average of 5-0 every game. So when I took over the program, we were 0-18. When I took it over, in my first year, we were 2-16-1. Is that a success? I don't know. But I do want to tell you, goals against was no longer 100, it was 41. So to us, it was a huge success. The last 5 to 6 minutes of the game, we were in every single game. We didn't win much, but we were in the game, as opposed to, well, it's halftime, it's 5-0, what are we gonna do now? Give them the rosaries, get back out there. So, success is different. Okay? When I speak of success, my expertise is athletics. That's what I know the best. That's where I've grown up. I competed. That's who I am. I think that athletics teaches you in a season, a lifetime. The ebb, the flow, the perseverance. You're down by 6 points. You're down by a touchdown. You come back. You're down by 15. You quit. You cash it in. It teaches you so much about who you are. Because you're only out there for an hour or 6 minutes or 48 minutes in high school, depending on the sport. But when that season's over, it's like a lifetime of events. And I think it's very illustrative of what life's about. So, I start with the NCAA. When I talk about the NCAA, I had the opportunity to coach on the college level. And I'm already going to apologize to you right now, hoping my voice makes it. Anyway, NCAA. I don't know if you're familiar with this, governing body of college athletics. I don't know if you know this. 8 million kids in America play high school sports. Subculture in itself. And you need to realize it's a subculture. 8 million. For you math guys, 6% move on to the college level. Roughly 450,000, give or take. 2% get money. So when people say, and I'm like the NCAA rep for our high school, I talk about the NCAA, I talk about recruiting, I talk about life, and people say, well, my kid's going to be scholarship kid, full ride. In my true Philadelphia accent, I just look at them and go, how you doing? Because they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't. 2% get money. Now, I can go back to my life and tell you, I got money to play sports. Meal, money, and books. How much is that? How much? When you consider what education costs. Now, again, 2% more make the pros. So when I see kids in high school saying, yeah, I want to be a pro athlete, good luck on that one. 2% of 8 million. Again, good luck. So, I ask myself, I ask you. I don't play college sports. I don't go and be professional. Am I a failure? Am I truly a success? Because I didn't make it. Seriously, am I? These are things you want to think about. That's why it's individualistic. That's why you've got to come up with your own set of goals and objectives when you look at success. It doesn't mean you're not a success, really. Just the fact that you put the uniform on and went out to practice, you've already won. You're already way ahead of most kids. You play on the college level, you're now the elite. Maybe you didn't start. It doesn't mean you're not a success. Does that make sense? All right, good. So anyway, to go back to the original thought, very individualistic. Is it about being the best? What is it about? What is success? Is it about effort? Is it about the will? Is it about the heart? What is it? What is success? Only you know. And don't let anybody else tell you what success means. Because the only person that deals with it and the only person that fights with it is you. So don't go by anybody else's opinion. This is what you want success to be, do it. That was me as a child. Give you a little background. I was one of those weirdos in high school. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I was a junior in high school. I knew that 3 components to my life. I knew that I wanted to have an impact. I knew that I loved kids. And I knew I wanted to give something back. To me, the only way was teaching. I'm a firm believer that when you go back deep into society, as far back as you want to go, cavemen, clansmen, tribes, only 2 jobs. 1, obviously, educate the young. 2, heal the sick. Only 2 jobs, way back in the beginning. Now look where we've come from. But anyway, those 2 jobs. If those truly are the only 2 jobs, somebody had to teach you to heal the sick. So there's really only 1 job, teaching. So that's what I wanted to do. That was where I wanted to go. I competed in high school, 3-sport athlete, went on to college, played 2 different sports in college, Division I, ended up having a great opportunity to coach soccer for 25, 26 years, was a college head coach, moved on, wrestling, 40 years as a coach. I loved it. I was a building principal. I started off as a health and phys ed guy, building principal. Till I retired last year at 66. Loved every day. I get up in the morning, what are we doing today? I talked to the staff, I'd have faculty meetings, loved it. Loved everything about it. I can safely say after 40 years, I've no regrets. There's nothing else I wanted to do. I thought, how can you live life any better than I've lived it? Have we had championship teams? A few. Not a lot, but a few. I got a great family. Is that a success? To me, yes. Yes. Because half the battle is loving what you do. Because you know, if you're passionate about what you do, it's not really work. So for what that's worth. All right. When I look at role models, when Aaron, with the great introduction that he gave me, when you look at role models, I came out of college, I'm watching TV one day, Wide World of Sports, if you're old enough to remember that show. Anyway, this guy, picture pops up in there, his name's Eddie Robinson, head football coach at Grambling. over 400 college wins, close to 50 years coached, sent 200 kids to the NFL. He had this ambition to teach, to educate. He was more concerned about sending great kids into life than all Americans. They're interviewing, got the microphone in the space. Coach, best team ever. I have no idea. Coach, a team of 19 something, you were 12-0. I have no idea. Coach, come on, you got to know. I have no idea. Coach, seriously, pick a team. He pointed his finger and said, you listen to me. Give me 20 years. And when I see who's giving something back, who's got the good family, who works hard, has a great job, I don't care what they do, who is giving something back to society, who's the good husband, then I'll tell you my best team. It's got nothing to do with wins and losses. It's about pushing ahead and being a success in life. That's what we're about. So when I took on the coaching role, I would send parent letters home. And I would say, you want to be a state champion wrestler? You go up the street. If you want your kid to learn about life, and you want your kid to be all right down the road from now, and know the right things, the pleases, the thank yous, the handshakes, the eye contact, send them to us. You won't be disappointed. And that's how we formulated our program. And what was great is, when you got kids like Aaron that buy into the system, look at what happens. So, success, maybe not the wins and losses, but to me that's success. John Wooden, basketball coach, if you know anything about history, 70s, 80s, late 60s, took UCLA to 10 national championships in like 15 years. Incredible. He's a guy that believed in success. He has the pyramid of success. He pushes success. He talks about action. He talks about perseverance. But what he talks about the most is success is an attitude. It's about who you are and what you think. That's what success really is. Right? So, mindset. Like everything else in life, it's what you believe. We are governed by our beliefs and by our values. Carol Dweck, professor of psychology, Stanford University, wrote a book called Mindset. In education, that became our mantra. Superintendent gave us all the books, all the leaders, all the building principals, all the department heads, read the book. And the book, Mindset, talks about growth mindset, fixed mindset, growth mindset. Growth mindset is the intellectual is developing. Fixed mindset, it's static. It's going nowhere. Fixed mindset struggles with challenges. Growth mindset, love a challenge. Bring it on. I'm right here. I've always lived my life in that when you wake up sometimes, either you get the bear or the bear gets you. And sometimes when you wake up, the bear is sitting right next to you smiling. You either rule the day or the day rules you. I'm a firm believer in that. Here's a guy that typified that philosophy. Was he one of our best wrestlers? Nah, he wasn't. But I'm going to tell you this. Hard-nosed, self-disciplined, blue-collar type of athlete. When he came to practice, he came to work. And when he came to practice, he put his time in. And he didn't waste time. And he worked his butt off. So many times in different matches, I would watch him and I would say, what was that? That wasn't even a move. And he'd come off the mat and say, well, I had to pin him with something. So, well, at least pick something I taught you so I look good. I don't know what you're doing out there. I said, Coach, and this is true, I didn't want to lose. I found the way to win. 77 times, found the way to win. Our leader, our captain. And so many times in sports, if you've ever watched the Titans, you know I'm talking about the movie? Mm-hmm. I love that part where Bertier looks at, Julius, looks at Julius, and he's hammering. And Julius stops and looks at him and says, attitude reflects leadership. It does. Our teams were good when he wrestled because of him. Attitude reflects leadership. Our kids loved to be there because he loved to be there. Great leader. Wasn't as much of a verbal leader, but you know there's many different kinds of leaders. Definitely a lead by example. And took us to places that we had never been. You know I'm going with this, right?
Not really.
So anyway, in wrestling, if you don't know anything about the sport, you get out there and you got the lineup and you go weight class by weight class. So it's Aaron's turn to go out. I'm in the back. I'm roughing him up a little bit. Aaron, you ready to go? Big match tonight. Yeah. Coach, can I talk to you for a minute? You're about to go out and wrestle. It's a big match. I just got to talk to you for a minute. I'm trying to get him ready, trying to get the blood flowing, trying to get him focused, trying to get him excited. Coach, I just have to tell you this. You know, I really don't like wrestling, right? We're having this conversation now. Why? He says, no, I just want to tell you, I don't really like the sport. So, let me get this straight. You put the funny shoes on, you put the singlet on, the lycra, it shows every part of your body. You're out there by yourself, no excuses, and you hate the sport? Never been a real big fan of it. You've wrestled since I met you. You come to practice, you're fired up, you're always excited. Yeah, I know. Well, now this is the teams. Come on, let's go. Team's all excited. We're having this conversation. Well, I mean, the only reason why I wrestle is because I said, yeah, because I think chicks dig it. I'm sorry, what? Sorry, what did you just say? He said, well, I think girls really like wrestling. You know, we're built so, yeah, that's why I wrestle. It's one of those times we just say, yeah, okay, all right. Let's go out and do what you have to do. I mean, but that didn't take away who he was. A lot of kids would have folded. A lot of kids would have quit. A lot of kids would have just said, well, it's not my chief sport. I'll just do the best I can. He didn't say any of that. He said, well, this is where I am. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to be good at it. And I'm going to work hard at it. My wife will tell you, the first phone call, whenever it snowed, Coach, what are we doing? We're practicing today? Yeah, we're practicing today. Okay, I need to know what we're doing. Relax. We're looking for a spot. I'll get back to you. First call in the morning. Coach, what are we doing? This is the guy that wrestling's not his top sport. But because he put his full body into it and his full mind into it, he was very good at it. In our practice room, many signs, because I want the kids always thinking. One of our top signs that lasted the test of time, 40 years. Work hard, good things happen. That's Brandon Graham. I had to put a plug in for the Eagles.
Hey.
Well, if you watch the game Sunday,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about changing teams.
No.
I can't watch it anymore.
Lee Green, baby.
They just did that so the Cowboys don't fire Jason Garrett.
Maybe. Or maybe they're just not as good as we think they are. Anyway, the way we taught the sport, I would say to the kids, fellas, it's 6 days a week. Coach, we have a match too. You're not hearing me. 6 days a week. Coach, we live in Philly. It's not, did you hear what I said? 6 days a week. Okay. If it's a snow day, I'll be around with the band. I'll pick you up and we'll find a spot to practice. Church, fitness center, the YMCA, we'll find a spot. The good teams practice 6 days a week. Match day was always, you come in, you go to school, you go home a little bit, you come back at 4:30, 5 o'clock, you check your weight, you get weighed in, you hop on the bus, you go to the match. No, 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 no. School's over at 2:15, 2:30, you're with me. We're gonna drill for an hour and a half. We're gonna look at tendencies for an hour and a half. We're practicing for an hour and a half. Then we'll check our weight, then we'll shower, then we'll get on the bus, then we'll go to the match. Now it took a while, but they bought in because the good teams don't take a day off. They're always working. They never stop. I said, you want to be like them? You got to take on the mantra that we're here to work, and we're going to work, and we're going to practice 2.5 hours, whatever it takes. And they bought in. We used to have after practice 6-minute club, and I would say, Aaron, come on, you're going to go 6 extra minutes. We said it was 6 minutes, but it was usually like 20 minutes. And it was extra conditioning, extra me on their back. Come on, you can do better. You can do more. The tired wrestler who functions well is the guy that wins. Because it's easy when you're tired to quit. But if I can get you to compete and get you to think while you're tired, you'll be okay. So in the beginning, he's picking me again for the 6-minute club. Man. After a couple weeks, a couple of the kids in the team, you didn't pick me. I said, I didn't know I'd pick anybody. 6-minute club's open to anybody. Can I be a part of it? Sure. 3/4 of the way through the year, practice is over, they're all looking at me. Coach, we're ready. Ready to go to the after practice. Everybody bought it. It's not just a 9 to 5 job. As you know, your jobs aren't 9 to 5. It's the extra time at home. It's the extra time on the weekends. Success? I don't know. 95% of us could be successful and aren't because we don't want to put the time in. We don't want to do it. We're complacent. I'm good. Hey, so why don't we, I want to watch football. I think I want to watch TV. I'm going to sleep in Saturday. Let's get up, let's get to work. Come on, we got stuff to do. And not necessarily business, but family, there's stuff to do. Committing to a purpose as opposed to, I'm good. Very fine line between average and above average. Successful, unsuccessful. Very fine line. To me, it's about perseverance. To me, it's about will. I want it. I want to do it. That's what I want. Dan Gable, famous wrestling coach, Iowa. Wrestled at Iowa State, lost 1 match in his career. Went to the Olympics, gold medalist, 76, I think 76, not sure. Didn't give up 1 point in 6 bouts. That's the kind of guy he was. He believed wrestling was a pure sport. You're by yourself, nobody to blame, you can't point fingers, you're out there by yourself, you're in a funny uniform, you can't run away, you can't put shoulder pads on and be a number, everybody's looking right at you. You're center stage. Tell me about life. Isn't that life? Only pure sport. And when you think about it, it really is life. He's a guy that also said, you know what? Failure, I can handle failure. I can. I'm okay with it. But not trying, I have no time for you. Get out of my room. I don't care if you lose. We'll work it. But come every day and work harder. Go home every day a little bit better than you were before. And I love that type of philosophy. Go ahead. All right, another sign in the room. We're big on signs, big on visual cues. And I love this. This is called the African morning. So the African morning is about the gazelle. And the gazelle wakes up every morning and says, oh man, it's another day. I'm being chased. If I can't outrun the fastest lion, I'm breakfast. I'm breakfast. I'm going to die today. Lion wakes up, king of the jungle. Mightiest of the mighty. Different philosophy. I'm the boss. I'm the king of the jungle. I'm all that and a bag of chips. I am hungry. If I can't outrun the slowest gazelle, I don't eat. The point? No matter who you are, when that sun comes up, you better be running. You better be working. You better be trying to get better. Or you don't eat, maybe you die, maybe you have breakfast, I don't know. But when that sun comes up, you better be running. You better be moving. Because everything depends on it. Again, 6 days a week of practice. Again, what you guys do every day, putting in the extra time. That's what it's about. We're good. Pablo Picasso, great artist. Action is the catalyst for success. And I try to pull in various famous people because I don't want you to think in terms of this guy talking about sports the whole time. Really? I want you to try to put it in perspective. Make sense? All right. If I'm from Philly, how can I not talk about rock? Exactly. In sports, the guy that you don't want to see is the guy who refuses to give up. The guy that will not roll over. The guy that's too dumb to know who you are and how good you are. He just thinks, I'm supposed to beat you. And I got how much time? Well, I'm going to try every second of that time to beat your butt. I don't care what you do to me, but I'm coming after you. This is my job. I'm coming after you. This guy, when you think about Rocky, think about Rocky 1. Not really big on 4, 5, and 6, but Rocky 1. Rocky 1. After the fight, Apollo Creed. Rock goes up in his most literary way. Hey, yo, Apollo. Rocky goes up and says, how about a rematch? Apollo says, I want nothing to do with you. I'm barely standing up. You almost killed me. I won the fight, but I want nothing to. You're crazy. I don't want to ever fight you again. That's the person. We used to tell our kids all the time, train like you're in second place. Train like you're chasing somebody. Don't sit up top. Don't think, yeah, I'm cool. I got it going on. I'm the best of the best. No, you're not. You might be the best of your best at 10 of 10 in the morning, but by this afternoon, all of a sudden you're in second place because you got complacent. And again, tell me where that doesn't connect into life. Tell me where that doesn't connect into your job. It does. It really does. It's just that athletics paints a very illustrative picture, more so than really anything else, because of us as a society, because of what we believe in. All right, I'm good. What you want to do is you want to awaken the beast inside, because it's in there. You just got to find it. You just got to wake it up. Awaken that beast. The beast has to know you're going to fail. That's a given. There's very few givens in life, but you're going to fail. I know paying taxes and dying. I hear that all the time. But you're going to fail. No matter what you do, you're going to fail. So embrace it. What you have to do, though, is you have to look at people like Winston Churchill that might say to you, well, you know what? Failure is not final. Success isn't final. It's the ability to continue that's to be commendable. You get up and you keep going and you keep trying to move forward. That's what gets it. When you look at Denzel Washington, he always says, dream big, fail big. Dream big, fail big, succeed big. That's what life's about. Remember, what is failure? Failure is telling you did a little something wrong. Change it, move on. Monitor and adjust. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure builds character. Failure is about mental toughness. How tough are you? Can you get back up? Can you? That's what mental toughness is. Failure. Failure builds character. It lets us know who we are. Don't ever go into anything expecting I can do all this. There's going to be setbacks. What's cool about life is it's about what you do about those setbacks. I'm good. One of the things we used to always talk about, and one of the things that I always say, you know what? We can complain all we want. And we can say I'm too tired. And you know what? It's just not enough time in the day today. I don't really want to do it. Stop! Start thinking I can and I will. If you want to be a success, that's what you need to do. I can and I will. When you look at Rock, and again, I go to like Rocky 5 or 6 only for this piece. If you think about, I don't know how many of you have seen this piece, but it's a good one. So if you Google Rocky motivational speeches, he's talking to his son. And the son says, look, Dad, you're an embarrassment to me. You're going back to fighting and you're in your 60s. Rocky says, it's something I got to do. And the son says, well, I'm embarrassed. I don't think you should do it. And Rocky goes into this whole speech about life. And he says, nothing will hit you harder than life itself. But it's about getting up and moving forward. You can point fingers all you want, because that's what cowards do. But that's not you. You get up and you move forward. Whatever happens, nothing is going to hit you harder than life. And if you know that going in, you're good to go. 4 areas of self-confidence that you can work on, that you can fix today. Number 1, go back in your own life of all your successes and continue to think about what you've done right. Focus on what you've done well. Self-confidence. Why do you let somebody else's attitude on you control who you are? Just because somebody says something, does that mean it's true? No! You control your own destiny. You're in charge. Stay positive. Think of all the great things you've done. Number 2, think about all of the things that everybody else does. Get strength from other people. Other people that have done well. Get strength from them. Don't be a negative. Don't turn your head and say, he's a jerk. I don't like him. I would say to my wrestlers, if somebody does something to you on the mat that you really like, a new move, after the match, hey, how'd you do that? Oh my God, that was great. Using other people's success for yourself, that's hard to do. But if you do that, that boosts your self-confidence. Number 3, and I would say this to my daughter all the time. My 3 daughters played college field hockey. I would say to them, you get off that bus, you own the field. I would tell my wrestlers, okay, we're getting on the bus. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's now my time. You better start thinking about the match. And when you get off the bus, act like you're going to win. Act like you belong. Act like you're as good as they are. Have a little swag in that step. Because that means a lot. It really does. Your body language tells them, look at this guy, I can tell I'm going to crush this guy. Look at this guy, I don't want to spend time in a business meeting with this guy. He has no confidence. Forget it. Body language. 4th, what do you do to motivate? What's your why? Eric Thomas talks about why. Favorite letter of the alphabet, why. Why do you do what you do? What motivates you? Why are you where you are today? Why are you here? Why? What motivates you? So in wrestling, what we would do, imagery. We have the kids' headphones on, music. This is a way to motivate. And for some of the guys, it answered the why. We would, at the end of every match, if we wrestled on a Thursday night, as soon as practice was over at 4 o'clock, I turn out the lights, they all lay down in the wrestling room. And we go through mental imagery. I say, fellas, here we are. And I talk really low, I talk quietly. Fellas, here we are. Big match tonight. Go out, you shake hands, stare right in the eye, just look at it. And have that little swag in your step. And be ready. That whistle goes, you're circling, circle out, circle out, circle out, circle out. Boom. Situation opens up, high crotch. Boom, oh, got it. Post the leg back. What am I going to do? Knee walk, high crotch the other side. Hear the referee say, 2, 2, takedown, green, 2. Hear the referee say it. Second period, you're on the bottom. You're going to explode off there. Picture yourself exploding. Picture yourself coming up off the bottom, posting away, throwing the arm. Picture it. And I get real quiet. Imagery. Picture yourself doing all the things that you do well. Imagine it. Walk yourself through it. Because in life, just like in wrestling, if you react, you'll win. If you have to think about it, you'll lose. Wrestling, soccer, I receive the ball. I look up. I have 1 second to decide who gets the ball. And whoever gets the ball could depend on how the game goes. I'm a defender. I pass it back to the goalkeeper. It got intercepted. They scored a goal. What was I thinking? Instead, I took the ball. I looked up. Midfield popped in. Opened up the avenue on the left. I overlapped and went deep. I scored a goal. Imagery. Put yourself in these situations. Walk yourself through it. I need to. I should. What happens then? So when the situation comes up, I've been here before. I know what to do. Kobe Bryant. Okay, let's go back. Let's even go back more recent. And I love Kobe Bryant. I'm not sure I love this guy yet. I love who he is. Not sure I love him yet. But Kobe Bryant I love. Actually a Philly guy, but Kobe Bryant I love. Kawhi Leonard. They win the NBA championship. Think back to the Sixers game. If you watch the game, he made this shot that no human being could ever make again. You can't make that shot. Kobe Bryant used to make those shots all the time. Kobe Bryant would say, imagery, would say, they would say, my God, that shot was incredible. How did you do that? That was phenomenal. You just went up there, your God-gifted talent. He said, God-gifted talent? He said, I got up 4 o'clock in the morning. I let myself into the field house. I'm taking shots. I've made that shot 5,000 times. I just got the ball. I looked up. I knew where I was. Boom. It's every day for me. Really? That wasn't just, oh, you can't make that shot unless you practice it over and over again. I've been there 1,000,000 times. I think about those shots. I think about winning the game. I want the pressure on me. Really? Think about that. That wasn't a spectacular shot. It was to us. But to him, he had made that shot 5,000,000 times. Practice over, over, over. End of the game. Over. End of the game. Over, over, over. Situation presented itself. Didn't have to think about it. Made the shot. Like I say in wrestling, when they shoot in, you got 1 second, less than a second. What's your counter going to do? And you better have counter B and C, because he's going to have attack B and C. So he blocks, he pushes, he posts. You can't be, okay, he posted, so I should, you're pinned. Well, Coach always said, you can't think. It has to be reaction. You got to put yourself there over and over. Imagery. So, 4 pieces of self-confidence, which add to success. Imagery, body language, get strength from others, other successes, and dwell on your own successes. Be positive. Okay, we're good. Okay, so, right here. Kid's born with a congenital problem. The femur is 1/3 the size of his other femur. Meaning, when he gets his first shoe at 1 year old, the shoe lift is over 5 inches. So the hospitals say, cut the leg off. The family says, no freaking way. We're not cutting the leg off. We're not going to do it. Goes through 5 life-changing surgeries that take a year of his life to go through rehab, regrow the bone. On the right, high school basketball player. Wasn't supposed to walk. On the right. Perseverance is all about hard work, staying the course for the long haul, never quitting, keeping the faith. There's no greater challenge than the will or the heart to make it happen. He's one of these kids, and I say it all the time. Why me? Hey, you guys picking on me? Woe is me. We all do this. But this kid, you know what he would say? Try me. I'm not saying why me. I'm saying try me. You think you're all that? I'm right here. Try me. Oh my God. And I've heard other great motivational speakers talk about why is me. Not why. Try me. You want to play? Try me. All right, we're good. My little cheat sheets are up in the corner. So Steve Jobs once said, same type of theory. Steve Jobs once said that half of the entrepreneurs, what separates success from non-success, he says there's no rocket science. There isn't. He said, I believe it's pure perseverance. My brother-in-law is a doctor, a surgeon. I always said to him, I'm a phys ed teacher. Come on. When you talk about teaching, what's the lowest rung on the level? Gym teacher. You're out, you play. I used to say to my wife all the time, that school, they are so stupid. I go and I play games, I play basketball, I lift weights, I play floor hockey, and they pay me. How cool is that? When I got my first coaching job, I said, they're dumber than I thought. I said, they're paying me to do this. Absolutely love doing it. My brother-in-law would always say to me, please don't put yourself down. Well, I do it as a joke because we know gym teachers. My brother-in-law would always say, I'm no smarter than you and you're no smarter than me. He said, look at my SATs. Wow. I didn't set up the world on fire, but neither did he. You know what he said to me? Medical school, it's perseverance. It's jumping through hoops. It's being told no over and over again and saying, I don't accept no. He said, law school's the same way. You want to get your PhD, your doctorate, same thing. It's perseverance. Makes sense? Good. You either want to do it or you don't. Goes back to Aaron. You could have very easily said, I'm not doing this stupid sport. I walk into the wrestling room. Any of you that have been to wrestling practice, you know what it smells like in a wrestling room? Oh my God. I've coached 40 years, and sometimes I'll walk in and go, whoa, that's awful. You guys, right now, go shower. We used to have a couple kids that was so bad, I made them carry a gym bag to practice with a shirt change in it, because they would sweat so much. I'd say, I'm not going to be your partner. Get the shirt off. Put the new shirt on. You either want to do it or you don't. I thought it was a great sport, and I loved it. Here's a guy that, not his favorite sport, but he wanted to do it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it well. So, make a long story short, I would tell my daughters, I would tell everybody, I know you get tired of wrestling, I get tired of soccer, baseball. Let's go back to Dan Gable, his one sentence, where he said, look, I can deal with failure, but you don't try, I don't have any time for you. Don't talk to me. Get out of the room. Swing the damn bat. I used to always say, watching baseball, God, he took 3 strikes. Strike 1. Strike. The bat never moved. What was he thinking was going to happen? The pitcher was going to try to hit the bat with the ball? Is that what he was thinking? Because if you don't swing the bat, how can you get a hit? Michael Jordan would always say, it's the millions of shots that I missed. If I don't take that shot, try to win the game. We can't win the game because we're losing. Somebody's got to take that shot. The only way to do it is take the shot. Maybe it goes in. The only way to do it is swing the bat. You can't get a hit if you don't swing the bat. Swing the bat. You get up there, swing the bat. Take a shot at it. Good. It's about the will, and we've talked about this. It's about the heart. So, again, God, my mind went black on me. Great CrossFit guy, Josh Bridges. Thank you. See, it's senior moment. Josh Bridges, famous CrossFit guy. Here's a guy that says, I need to pay the man. Every day I get up, I pay the man. I get up today, 6 o'clock in the morning, I gotta go pay the man. Tired, I gotta pay the man. We used to tell our kids in practice, you gotta pay the piper. You wanna dance? Pay the piper. It means put the time in. I know you don't want to do it. But you don't put the time in, you can't be any good. You gotta put the time in. You gotta do the things you don't want to do the things you do want. That's the bottom line. All right. Vince Lombardi talks about, look, the greatest teams ever. They weren't great because of strength or knowledge or just who they were. They were great because they had the will to make it happen. Aaron Marino, not a great wrestler. But gosh darn it, I'm going out there, my job's to beat that guy, and I'm going to beat the guy. I don't care what I do, I'm going to beat the guy. And he did. It's the will. That tells a lot about a person. We're good. All right, so my big philosophy is, in order to have a success, even though you're driven and everything else, you have to have 3 attributes, I think. It's just my opinion. First one is, yes, I'm a Phillies fan. I am. Been a Phillies fan forever. But since I've been 5 years old, I'm a closet Red Sox fan. I love the Sox. I love Fenway. I love the dirty helmets. When you look at the Sox, they're scruffy. They got the beards all growing all over the place. The helmets have the pine tar on it. The bats are dirty. Their uniforms are dirty. They're gritty. They're blue-collar workers. They come to work, and they get the job done. And you look back the past couple of years, they won the World Championship 3 or 4 times because of who they are. Love the Sox. First-year coach Alex Cora took over season before last. Took them to the World Series. They won the World Series. He attributed it to connections. I connect with my players. He said, I'm no baseball superstar. I'm no managerial whiz. I connected. Excuse me. I connected with my players. Connecting is the most important. Tell me about business. Tell me about this. You don't connect. You don't get to know anybody. You got to work on the social skills. You got to connect. Number 2, you have to have empathy. Not sympathy. Empathy. In education, sympathy is, okay, listen, I'll help you out. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it. I'll get it for you. Empathy is, I see you with the crutch. I got it. The dinner's over here. You got to go get it. I'll pull the table a little closer, but you got to get up and get it. I'm empathizing with you. I hear you. But I'm not lowering the bar. I'm keeping the bar up here. Empathy. You got to put yourself in other people's shoes in order to make good decisions. You have to. Last one, you got to give something back. Denzel Washington always says that when you become that success, reach down, look who's still climbing the ladder. Put your hand out, pull them up, give them advice. I used to say to Aaron and some of my better wrestlers, get down and work with the young kids. Reach back, pull them up, give something back. We, for years, we won a couple different awards for community service in wrestling. Thank God we're coming to the end. I'm not going to make it. And what we used to do is we used to raise about $2,000 to $3,000 a year and devote it specifically to families in need. And we go out and we'd adopt families for Christmas. And we would buy gifts and we'd buy food. And I taught my kids, no matter who you are on this team, they have it worse than you do. You got to give something back. And they, over the years, they absolutely love doing it. We were put on the local Channel 10 news, did a feature on us. It's about giving back. Eddie Robinson talked about, football coach talked about giving something back. Look how good we have it. Give something back. Martin Luther King always talked about, look, the most poignant question that we can ever debate in life is, what are you doing for others? Tell me what you're doing for others. I see what you're doing, but what are you doing for others? Because that's the measure of a man's soul. And I believe that. We're good. 4 characteristics: passionate, fearless, relentless, resilient. I tell young teachers when they come to the table for interviews, bring the passion. Be fearless. Don't worry about that. You control what you can control. Be fearless. Relentless. Never stop. Here's a guy right here. Look at what he's done in the business world. He's relentless. Doesn't stop. Keep coming at you. Rocky. In Rocky 1, he stayed after Apollo. Kept coming back. Apollo would knock him down. He'd get back up, keep coming back. Be relentless. And be resilient. No matter what happens to you. Again, think about Jocko. Retired Navy SEAL. Get up, dust yourself off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and get after it. Be resilient. Be able to come back. Good. How tough are you? Everybody in here. This is you. You know it's you. You can't tell me it's not you. Everybody has it within them right now, what they need to deal with whatever the world can throw. You just choose not to. You choose to come up with excuses. Don't. I can, I will. Good. Crosses to bear. This is me. 6 years ago, cancer. 2 years after I got cancer, stage 4. My voice, that's part of cancer. That's why I didn't say anything in the beginning. It's not that I'm sick, it's just the way my voice is. I have esophageal cancer. Again, I can remember saying to my wife, why? Ooh, try me. You want to fight me, cancer? I'm standing right here. I'm right in front of you. I put, since 2012, since 2019, still here. I don't have the voice I used to, but I'm still here. I like to think I'm winning. Is that a success? I'd like to think so. Again, why me? Try me. You think you're tough? Come on, let's go at it. Remember what wrestling's about: individual sparring, going after somebody, getting physical. You want to play with me, cancer? I'll give it a go. You might win. It's going to be Rocky Balboa. You're not going to want to deal with me ever again because you're going to say, this guy's nuts. Go ahead. All right. Please, in your life, success. Who do you appreciate? This is my wife. You got to find people to appreciate and let them know you appreciate them. Let them know. I tell my faculty all the time, I'll grab some of the teachers, I love you. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I'm behind you. I don't want reciprocation, but I want you to know how I feel. I tell my wrestlers that all the time. I love you guys. You don't have to take it back. I need you to know if something happens to me, I want you to know how I feel about you. I do. I love you. One of my best friends in administration, in 22 years I was administrator, African American guy, played football for Penn State, huge, like 6'4", 250. He comes over to the house. I'm sick. He gets up, just bear hugs me, says, I love you. My wife just rolls her eyes. I said, well, it's not like I'm going to marry the guy. It's just that I love who he is, and we love each other, and that's just part of it. And we don't mind telling each other that. Love you. Do it. Say it. Go ahead. All right. What is family? I don't know. It's different to everybody. Is it your immediate family? Is it your adopted family? Is it your workforce? I can remember, I don't know if you remember this, I would tell all the kids during Christmas, I'd say, I give them envelopes, fill out the envelopes, put a Christmas card in, picture of the wrestling team, and I would always say, from our family to yours, have a great holiday. That was our family. So what is family? It's about family. You got to have a support system. And my wife would still cringe, even though she's not here, when I always do. It's about family. So, whatever your family is, embrace it. You need a support system. Okay, who are you? I'll read it to you. Nobody's ever born a warrior. You choose to be one when you refuse to stay seated. You choose to be one when you refuse to back down. You choose to be one after you stand up after being knocked down. You choose to be one because if not who, not you, then who? You're all that people. That's who you are. Embrace it. You wouldn't be here today if that wasn't you. Good. All right. So I ask you, success. Athletics isn't too far from life. It's the same characteristics to be great in sports. My message is sports because that's what I know. I don't know business like you guys. You guys are the business gurus. I don't know that. I'm not a business guy, but sports. But what I've learned is it's the same. And you've got to decide what success is to you. It's an individual type of theory, but you know what it takes to get there. And you have to decide what actually success means. So I'm hoping I gave you some points. I'm hoping I gave you some tidbits. Denzel Washington always said, don't aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference. Great words. Anyway, thank you for hanging in. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. And the best I can do is offer you the best of luck in whatever you're here to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish. From me, from what I talked about with these guys, I don't see how you can fail. I don't. But thank you very much.